Hello folks, how you keeping? I'm Lee Townsend and welcome back to a brand new video. This week's video is going to be a tutorial on Ed Sheeran's I'm a Mess. I covered this song last week, which you should have seen already. If you haven't seen that already, click the card above, go and watch that first so that you can follow along which parts of the song I'm referring to when I'm doing this tutorial. If you're not interested in my tutorials and learning how to play these songs, come back next week. Next week's video will be a new cover video. So now we've got that out the way, as always I'm using a Boss RC30 loop station. The guitar is tuned standard tuning but down a whole step, so it should sound like this. So apart from that, there's no capos, nothing like that. So yeah, just standard tuning. If you're following along with the record, the original record of this, it is actually in standard tuning, but when Ed plays this live, he drops it down a whole step like I've done. So we'll go over the chords to the song first of all, and I've got a brand new little chord chart which will appear here, so it should make it easier for you to follow what I'm doing. Yeah, I've been working on that over the last hour or so. So the chords go as follows. C sharp minor 7 is the first chord, which is played, it's like a power chord shape on the 4th fret of the guitar. So your first finger is on the 4th fret of the A string. Your second finger is just sort of hovering around. You can use it to help your first finger out if you like. Third finger is over on the 6th fret of the D string, and your pinky, the 4th finger, is on the 6th fret of the G string. So it should sound like this. We're also letting the B and the top E ring out as well. So it's a really nice sounding chord, that. But yeah, the first section is palm muted, so you don't need to let those ring out. But I recommend that you sort of get used to doing that, because the chorus is all rung out like that. It sounds really cool. So the second chord in this is a B sus, which is exactly the same as the first chord, but moved down 2 frets. So yeah, first finger, 2nd fret of the A string. Third finger is 4th fret of the D, and your pinky is the 4th fret of the G. And again, the B and the top E are ringing out. And the third chord in this song is an E, standard E from All the Life. That one. And then we've got an A sus 2 in there as well, which is actually the same as the first chord, but moved down 4 frets. So it's just literally the third finger on the 2nd fret of the D and the pinky on the 2nd fret of the G. Or you can use your 2nd and 3rd fingers if you prefer. So that sounds like that. The only other chords in the song are an F sharp minor, which is barred across the 2nd fret over everything. Use the 2nd finger to help that bar out if you need a bit of strength. And then you've got your 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the A and your pinky on the 4th fret of the D. So that chord's in there as well. And the only other chord that's in here is right towards the end of the song in the last bit of loop, but I'll go over that now. It's the same shape again, that power chord shape, but up on the 7th fret, so it's a variation on E. Don't ask me exactly what that is. I'm getting a message. Throw the phone over there. So yeah, that E one up there, as I said, all of these are in the diagram, and as I'm playing throughout the song, I'll add the chords in so that you can see them down there. So yeah, over that again, C sharp minor 7, B sus, E, A sus 2, F sharp minor, and that variation on E, whatever that's called up there. Literally the song just jumps to that briefly, so you don't need to let anything ring out really. So we'll go over the first bit of the song, which is very straightforward. The looping doesn't start till later on, so yeah, the first bit's just, oh, I'm a mess right now, inside out, searching for a sweet surrender, but this is not the end. Then that F sharp minor, how, going through the motions, going through us. So I know a lot of you like to have the strumming patterns in here as well, so it's quite straightforward. It's all downstrokes. so we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, but then there's like an emphasis on 1, that sort of pattern. So that's pretty much the strumming pattern through the whole song, the palm muting bits at least. So the next bit after that bit that I just played, which was the verse, is the pre-chorus bit, which goes down to the A sus2. Oh, I've known him for the longest time, and all of my hopes, all of my words are all over written on the sides, but you're on my road, walking me home, 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 home. And then this is the part where we start to really let those strings ring out, because we're not palm muting anymore. So back to the C sharp minor 7. See the flames inside my burn so bright, I wanna feel your love. That F sharp minor again here. Oh, easy baby. I'll add in there as well that F sharp minor. Sometimes if you're a beginner, I don't know sort of what level you're at, but if you're a beginner that might be a little bit tough to play, but you could just power chord it, first finger over on the 2nd fret on the E string, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and the pinky on the 4th fret of the D, but just, you only really need those first 2 strings if you want to make it sort of easier for yourself. If you can manage that bar, it does sound more full, but it's up to you, you know. So after that, yeah. Easy baby, maybe I'm alive. Sorry about the dodgy vocals. For tonight I wanna feel in love. Back to the F sharp minor. Put your faith in my stomach. And when we hit that A there, that's the point at which we hit the record button on the loop pedal. And we want to record just a bar of that A played over, so that that keeps playing while I'm adding the bass drum. So watch what I'm doing with my feet. So put your faith in my stomach. So we've got that playing. We can skip over to the 2nd channel and add that bass drum beat. You can add that bass drum beat just by hitting the bridge down here. It gives you that nice sort of thud sound. So and when we've got that playing, we can flick back over to the 1st channel, drop the A out, but while we're dropping it out, keep playing it live so that it doesn't just drop. And then we can flick back over to channel 2 in order to pause the beat for coming back in with the verse. So I'll play it all through so you can hear exactly how it sounds. So we've got that. Put your faith in my stomach. I messed up this time, late last night, drinking to suppress devotion with fingers intertwined. I can't shake this feeling now. We're going through the motions, hoping you'd stop. So that's straightforward. That's all the same as the rest of the song that I played before. All the chords are there, as I said. I should also add that in the description of this video below, I've added a PDF version of the chord sheet that I use. I made it myself, so it's just the lyrics there with the chords written above, but it should be easy to follow as well to make sure that you can follow which chord comes where and stuff. So you can go and download that from my website. And then the only other bit there is the loops at the end, which is usually the bit that people are waiting for. So when we get to the very end of that 2nd chorus, so the end of the section that we've just played through, the same point at which we started the loops in the 1st section, we're going to stop these loops and clear both the tracks ready for the last bit of looping. So we should be sounding like this. Easy baby, maybe I'm alive. For tonight I want sharp minor. Put your faith. And then on the A, we stop the loops. Obviously, I've got an FS5U here, so I can just jump straight over to both tracks armed and then hit clear. So while we're playing that A, flick over so both the tracks are armed, and then hold the stop button and press the record button. Clears everything. Ready to add the next bit in, which is where that weird E chord comes in. So this section is pretty much palm muted, so it's just power chord shapes again. We're going from that C sharp minor 7 up to that weird E, down to the B, and then we've got an A, E, B, and the C sharp minor. So I'll play it slowly so you can see what I'm doing. So C sharp minor 7, up to the E, B sus, then A, E, B, C sharp minor again. So that's the sort of last loop, and that's the rest of the chords to the song just go like that. So I'll add that loop in so that you can hear how it should sound. Something that I should add is, since doing my video last week, I've figured out that this part, the guitar part, should be recorded into the second track of the loop pedal. And that's because when I go to stop and then arm both tracks to come back in after this section, it makes more sense to stop on track 2, because then I've only got to press this FS5U once before both tracks are armed. For anyone that doesn't know, the FS5U quickly chooses between the two tracks. You should be able to see there that the red indicator light is switching from track to track. So if I go from the second track, all I've got to do is press that once to arm both and then back in. If I'm on the first track, I have to do 2 presses on the FS5U, which in that short space of time is quite difficult. So it should be apparent after I've added these loops what I'm talking about there. But yeah, so I'm going to record those chords into the loop so you can hear how it should sound. So obviously at that point we're on that A, because we've just cleared the other tracks. So it goes like this. So at this point we're switching over to track 1, ready to add the harmony vocals into this pedal here. So yeah, straight from there back into singing vocals into the mic. These harmonies, you could probably hear where they're going, but they start with how long, my lover. So I'll sing through all of them actually so you can hear how they sound each one. So you've got how long, my lover, and then the second one is how long, my lover. Then the third one, how long, my lover. Then again, how long, my lover. And then the fifth one, I think it is, how long, my lover. And then the sixth one, my lover. So obviously all of those mixed together sounds something like this. How long, my lover? 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 So obviously it sounds really effective with all of those together. And then from that bit, which is done obviously into the first track, I flick back over to the second track, ready to add for how long, oh my love. That goes on the same track as the guitar for that section. So I'll stick those in.
How long, my lover? For how long, long, my love, my lover? Now, for how long, long, my love, my lover? Now, for how long, long, my love, my lover? Now, for.
And then at this part, I start to play those chords over, but letting it all ring out a little bit more, just to add a little bit of extra beef before the next bit comes in. So. And then the sort of stopping and starting of the loops here is quite important, and it's quite awkward to get. As I said before, it took me a few times to get this right. So what I'm doing is a split second before, well, a bit more than a split second before I stop the second track, I'm actually stopping the first track first. So I let this part play through.
How long?
And then stop it there. Flick over to the second track, hit stop, arm, and go. So it should sound like this.
For how long, long, my lover? Now, for how long, long, my lover? And I feel love. How long, long, I feel it all over now.
So obviously, keep that going until the end, at which point we drop channel 2 out to leave just the vocals at the end. So just the loop part on its own of that, so that you can see how the footwork is, goes like this.
For how long, my lover? For how long,
Obviously, it sounds a bit weird without the live vocal and the guitar going in, but you sort of get the picture. And then at the end, you've got the I feel love.
how long,
I feel it all over now. And then drop channel 2 out.
how long, my love, my lover? Now, for how long, my love, my lover?
And that's the end of the song, ladies and gents. Hopefully, I've not gone too fast. Hopefully the new chord chart helps. And hopefully the PDF in the description helps as well. Helps you follow this. I'm sorry if I've rushed through it. Let me know if there's anything I can improve with these tutorial videos. I want them to be as easy to follow as possible. If you've got any questions, you can use the comment section below this video on YouTube, or you can get me on Twitter. I spend quite a lot of time on there as well. So questions are always good over there and here. And that's pretty much all. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up if you like the video, hit the bell icon as well when you subscribe to get alerts when I upload new videos. And that's all for today. I'll see you next week with another video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.